Check 1, 2, testing ASAP test, testing audio, check 1, 2.
You don't know anything about that. All right, our head coach is on his way to the podium. A few reminders before he gets here. If you could just check your cell phone at this time, just make sure the ringer is turned off. As a reminder, there's no flash photography. Additionally, there is also no live recording from your phone or live streaming. If you need information regarding, hang on just a second. FTP, then you can check with Mr. Hammond in the back of the room, and he can get that to you. Also, if you will please raise your hand before you ask a question and also identify yourself, we will bring you a microphone and then proceed. Hello, welcome back. I never left. Good to see you too. So we'll just go straight to questions.
Yeah, let's do that. Thanks.
All right, thank you for joining us for the press conference for the Ohio State head women's basketball coach, Kevin McGuff. Again, if you could please check your cell phone, make sure that the ringer is turned off, and raise your hand prior to asking any question, and please identify your name and which organization that you represent as well. And we will open it up with questions for the head coach.
Andrew Erickson, Columbus Dispatch. Kevin, obviously this is a very different team you're coaching this year, but what do you take away from last year's Sweet 16? Is there a certain sense of hunger you feel like it created with this team?
Well, I think last year we were happy to be there, and you know we had just had a tough injury with one of our starters. You know, kind of like what happened to Notre Dame. We showed up. We played really hard. We didn't play particularly well versus a very good Tennessee team. But I think we're certainly a different team with a different mindset, and you know, I like the way we've been playing. So I think it'll be a different situation for us.
Hi, Coach. Rick Hand to the Austin American-Statesman. The Brianna Turner injury, does that change your approach at all, either offensively or defensively?
You know, I feel really bad for that kid. It's just terrible. Like, you hate to see an injury like that at any point in the year, especially right now. And she's such a great player, and it seems like to me she'd been playing her best basketball here late in the year, so it's really tough. But it doesn't change a whole lot. I think, you know, Notre Dame obviously will be very well prepared, and they had this week of practice to prepare themselves without her. And you know, they may play a little differently, which may force us to play a little differently in how we guard them and so forth. But I know they're going to be ready. They'll be prepared. They'll be probably have a real sense of urgency to prove everybody that they're still the great team that they were before she got hurt. So I know they're going to be ready. We have to make sure we're ready, you know, whether she's playing or not.
Matt Andrews, Ohio State IMG. Kevin, you've been deep all year, but now your production with your depth seems to be kind of at another level. Could you explain maybe what you've seen in that?
Yeah, you know, we've got some kids coming off the bench playing really well, and obviously with the injury to Steph, Tori's been starting and been playing well. So we've just had more people have an opportunity, and they've stepped up and been very productive. And we're at our best when we spread the ball around and we spread our scoring around. So hopefully, you know, we can do that again tomorrow night.
You've talked a lot about wanting to play your best basketball and this team to play its best basketball toward the end of the season. Throwing out the Purdue game, do you feel like that's been the case these last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I do. You know, we played really well in February, and you know, kind of things started to kind of come together for us and point towards March as a time when we're going to play our best basketball. And so we've had a good week of practice so far, and so hopefully that shows up tomorrow night.
Gary Graves, AP. With the kind of game that Lene had last week, I mean, was that kind of like, I don't want to say the pinnacle game, but was that the kind of game that you knew she was always capable of?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, Lene's a great player. She's a very unique player because for a 5'8", quote unquote perimeter player. She rebounds and plays around the basket as well as anybody I've seen for her size. So she can do some things most kids that size can't do. And you kind of saw all that come together versus Kentucky, and it was great to see. I mean, we needed it. We needed a game like that from her, and she delivered.
As a follow-up, I guess it's one thing when it's against her former team, but I guess what maybe my question was more, had you kind of seen her building up to that kind of game?
Yes. She's had, she's had games where she's had, double-digit rebound games. She's had games where she's had a lot of assists, and then she kind of put it all together with the points and the assists and the rebounds in that Kentucky game. So she's shown that she could do that, and certainly it was great to see her kind of put it all together.
Kevin, we've seen a couple better defensive performances for this team, especially the last couple weeks. What do you think in particular it is about this team that's allowed the defense to get better on tournament time?
Our preparation, I think, has been a little bit better. We've been a little more focused and sharp in practice and showing up in the games, and that'll be one of the big keys tomorrow night. Notre Dame is one of, if not the best team in the country in terms of offensive execution, and so we'll have to be really on point defensively if we want to give ourselves a chance to win.
I'd asked you this last week, I guess, about travel and adjustments and everything, if you had gotten to this point. I guess it's one thing when you're just a couple hours away or 3 hours away, but how has your routine kind of been affected by being back in the same venue within a week?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I think it's some familiarity with we're in the same hotel. Heck, I'm in the same room I was last week, so it's been we had a good week so far. We got back. We got a little bit of rest. We started practicing. Got the same bus driver, same bus, came back down. And so I think our kids are comfortable with that. And so, among all the other things, there's certainly going to be some nerves and some jitters, but just hopefully that'll at least give us a level of comfort that we otherwise wouldn't have.
Kevin, you talked about the team last year maybe being happy to be there given the circumstances. Yeah. Did you notice earlier in this year that this team kind of had higher expectations of itself, and what do you think played into that?
Yeah, I mean, we added some really talented players, and so I think our kids from day one have had high expectations for what we could accomplish this season, and we should. We got a good team, we got a lot of talent, and we got a chance to do something special. And it's going to be very difficult here. There's great teams, starting with Notre Dame. But you get to the Sweet 16, you got to play somebody good. And so, but to your point, we've had high expectations from day one.
And I know we saw her practicing earlier this week. Is Steph still a game time decision at this point?
Yeah, I mean, she's been good so far this week and further along than she was even last week. But I would say, once again, that'll be a game time decision.
Any other questions for the head coach?
I guess in kind of facing a former mentor of yours, I mean, any kind of emotions in that, or is it just a thing where it's just a basketball thing at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I have great respect for Muff, and she's a close friend and her family, and I had a wonderful, wonderful experience working there, both personally and professionally. It was a real important time in my life and my career, and so I couldn't say enough positive things about that experience. And so, it's no fun to coach against somebody you're close with, and I root for them every game except for when they play us. And so, we're going to go out and we're going to compete, and one of us is going to win, one of us is going to lose, and we'll both move on. But it's, like I said, I have great respect for her and her program, and wish them nothing but the best except for tomorrow night.
Any other questions? If not, then the press conference has concluded. Thank you very much, and we should begin with the student athletes around 12:45. Locker room. Do we know locker room? And the Ohio State locker room will be open for 21 more minutes as well. The Ohio State women's basketball student athletes are on their way, so we will begin their press conference shortly. All right, thank you for joining us for the press conference for the Ohio State women's basketball team. We're joined at the podium by student athletes Sierra Calhoun, Shayla Cooper, and Kiera Lewis. Again, if you could please make sure that your cell phone ringer has been turned off, and if you will raise your hand and identify yourself, we'll bring you a microphone. Also, if you could make sure that you specifically identify which student athlete the question is directed to for purposes of the transcript, that would help as well. And we'll open it up with questions for the student athletes.
Andrew Erickson, Columbus Dispatch. Shayla, obviously it was different circumstances last year in the Sweet 16 with injuries and things like that, but what do you feel like this team took away from that experience, and how do you think you'll use that this week?
From that experience, we just learned how to fight through it. You know, adversity is going to come, but you have to fight through it. And I feel like this team, we've been through a lot this season. I feel like we fought through it, and that was something that carried on from last season.
Matt Andrews, Ohio State IMG. Sierra, I think you're shooting 56% from three in the last 11 games, something pretty remarkably good. What has attributed to that?
I think I've just been focused. You know, my teammates been finding me in the right areas, and I've just been ready.
Your first tournament experience last weekend, what was that like for you? What kind of emotions and feelings do you take from that into this week?
It was exciting. Just watching, like, when I was in grade school and high school, I always wanted to be in this position. And I think it's really exciting to be in the Sweet 16. It's one of the reasons why I came to Ohio State.
Rick Cantu, the Austin American Statesman. Shayla, Brianna Turner goes down with the injury. How does that affect you guys in preparation? Do you do something different because she's not there, or is it status quo?
I don't think we do anything different. I think we're going to approach the game with the same mindset, attacking them, and without having her in the paint as a shot blocker, I think that'll open it up a little bit more for us.
So you guys are playing in a different gym this week, but is there some benefit to being back in Lexington, having the same bus driver, having the same hotel and things like that?
You know, I think, yeah, but I feel like we're just coming into the game ready. You know, we got some confidence in us. We're in a Sweet 16. I feel like we're really prepared. We got a great game plan coming in, and I think we should do well.
Shayla, Coach talks a lot about playing your best basketball toward the end of the season. Do you think, I mean, obviously throwing out the Purdue game, do you think this team is playing its best basketball going into deeper rounds of the tournament?
Yeah, I think we are playing great Ohio State basketball. I feel like everyone's giving their all on the court, no matter what it is, if it's offensively or defensively. I feel like everybody's tuned in to what Coach is saying. We're communicating well, and I just feel like it's a great atmosphere for us.
Kiera, how do you think this team has gotten better defensively over the last couple games? I think you guys have held back-to-back teams under 35% shooting, but what do you think has been different for the team on defense?
I think just knowing the scout and who each player is, and just playing team defense and knowing that we can't let one person just get off on us. So I think just being real focused and locked in.
Sierra, this might be the biggest gym you guys will play in this year, if not ever. As a three-point shooter, do you have to prepare for depth perception in a place like this? And if so, how do you prepare with something like that?
I think as a shooter, you treat every gym the same. Just as it's a big gym, nothing changes. Yeah.
Shayla, Coach was saying a few minutes ago that last year you guys, coming into the Sweet 16 had a mentality of kind of that you were happy to be there given the injury situations. Do you think the expectations were a little bit different and greater for this team early in the season, and what kind of told you that the expectations were better?
I think because of the competition level that we had started in practice, Coach knew that we were a special group of kids, and I just feel like with that, we had a lot of goals in mind, making it to the Final Four, so this is just one step closer to what we had in mind.
Any other questions for the student athletes? If not, then the press conference has been concluded. Thank you very much.
Thank you.